gotta have a war. You gotta become war.
Boom. Welcome to D-Class. It is Tuesday, 4/7/2026. So happy to see everybody. Sorry, I was right up to the wire there. Plus I was reading comments. Guys, there's a reason we do an intro that's a few minutes long. And that's because so many people like to watch this show live, and we don't want those people to miss out on the beginning portion. Nobody that watches the replay doesn't fast forward through the intro. So I know I watch podcasts, but thank you guys all for being here. I see you piling in. If you're watching over on Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're watching over on Pill, take that red pill. Facebook and X, hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show. Whole lot went down this weekend, and I cannot wait to get into it. So let's just do that thing. Let's hear from the boss and bring on our friends.
I wouldn't miss a chance to talk to my friends. These are my friends.
Yo,
what up?
Long time no see, bro.
Yeah, man. How are you?
How was your weekend?
It's fantastic. How was yours?
It was fantastic too. Oh yeah, we were together. That was fun, dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. We don't have to get into details, but a bunch of the audience was interested. I just want to say that my son had what looked to be. I don't know if you agree. He had a smile on his face for the whole weekend. It was awesome.
Yeah, dude, that was the coolest part. And honestly, I think you and I both said the same thing. It's like I think we both have a tendency to bury ourselves in our work and sit at these computers. And I'm like, I was sitting there, where we were is only about a 2-hour drive away from where we live. And I've been here almost 2 years and like, I haven't done it yet. So it's just kind of, thanks for setting that up, dude. It was really cool seeing Owen that happy. And it's just kind of a reminder that you got to take a day or two here and there and go out and enjoy the place where you live, get away from this stuff, even if it's just for 48 hours, kind of reset your mind. So, oh boy. And did Trump reward us yesterday? Whew.
Did he ever? Right. And look, the little bit of stuff that I did post on social media, we got nothing but love. Everybody was so happy. I'm looking at myself on the screen and I'm going, man, you look good with color. You need to get out of the house more. So yeah, it was awesome. And you're right. While we were driving back, Trump was just blowing our minds as we got back into work on that, ride home. And holy dude, I went through it this morning. It is crazy.
Yeah.
And
let me just say, sorry, real quick. Let me just say, I hope everybody had a wonderful Easter weekend, whatever it is that you guys did.
Dude, we were listening like kind of nonchalantly on the way home. And I went back and did it again this morning. Trump literally painted the picture of all three movies at once. If anybody was listening, and I'll be honest with you, I don't think. Look, I saw a bunch of the decodes. I saw, the people I love to look at, the ripcords and the gizmos and the Stormy Patriot Joes and the people that went through all this stuff in real time while we were, trying to give my son a really good birthday in the Easter weekend. And even they didn't, I don't think, caught everything. So I went back through it this morning and wow, I cannot wait. And with that, let's invite Patrick Gunnels into the show. What's up, my dude?
Hello, how are you? I'm unaware of any of the stuff you're talking about. I'm coming to your show completely tabula rasa.
We like that, right? Because we like
it on purpose.
It's not just you, but we, as in we and the chat, love watching your face.
I will say one thing. I think it was yesterday, it had to have been, I guess. My wife walks up to me with a look of incredulousness at her phone and says, Patrick, what is this? And I'm thinking it's like, something to do with some supply shipment that didn't make it here or what, God knows what it's. And then she just shows me some Truth Social post or whatever from Trump saying, praise be to Allah. Cards. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm going to have to wait to go on D-Class to figure out what he means by that. And that's what,
That's go ahead, Joe.
Dave and I tried not to look at our phones because we were, doing it with my son. There's things that you need to do as an adult, and one is take care of your boy. And so that's what we were trying to do. And when we finally looked and we saw that, I showed it to Dave, and we were both like, "That's not real."
That's real.
That's real.
It was completely real.
I think what you're going to see when we get into this and then into this presser is, look, okay, day one, when this thing popped off, Donald Trump stood up there and basically called on the people of Iran to rise up and take over their government. We're like, well, that's exactly what you would never say, ever, because it could cause absolute chaos, right? That was one of our little clues that we leaned into that kind of gave you the notion that this isn't really happening the way that's being presented on the news. And then when you get through what we're going to show now and in this presser, it's just further proof. Donald Trump is doing and saying everything that you would not say if this was truly a kinetic military operation that at any point could go sideways with thousands of people's lives at risk and a nuclear nation and missile. He is literally doing everything you would not do. So he's either really stupid or we're watching a movie with a whole lot of central casting.
I want to say something here. Hold on. Let's just allow it to happen, Dave. You take the reins. I'm gonna let's go through this. We'll go through the whole thing and I'll show everybody.
All right.
You go ahead and start this up.
Yeah, before we get into the presser, look, there's Joe, we were on in fact, maybe at some point. Well, first of all, I would encourage everyone to go watch this. Go over to Parallel 8 Media, Mark's channel. I think go back about 2 weeks. I believe he's got the name Chase Hughes in the title or something to the effect of like, is 2026 already decided? And he pulled a brilliant video by Chase Hughes of like kind of what to expect in 2026. And one of the points that we were discussing on that show is Chase Hughes, expert in psychological warfare, said expect the psyops to get more obvious and more intense. And they certainly have. And I would, the only thing I would add to it, because it's part of a psyop, is kayfabe. Expect the kayfabe to get more obvious and more intense. And as you well know, Joe and Patrick, that has certainly happened. And it's leading to this manufactured, in my opinion, optics that MAGA is fracturing. And that truth that Patrick is talking about didn't help the cause if you believe that that's what's happening. So let me, and now we have, add to the list, Tucker Carlson is turning on Trump and everybody's getting really worried about it.
Yeah, sure he is.
Okay, sure. This was Tucker Carlson's reaction to Donald Trump's Sunday Truth, and I'm just going to pause it so we can read that truth, and then we'll let it play through. Sorry, Joe, do you have something?
No, you covered it.
All right, cool.
You're tweeting out the F word on Easter morning? You'll be...
Okay, go ahead and read this, Patrick.
Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump.
Why is it so much worse when Patrick reads it? That's not the way I read it in my head, but Patrick, you do a great job.
I would very much like to thank you for having me read that. I was really hoping to, and I was scared that you were going to just back off on it because I'm such an asshole.
Patrick, I'm going to put you to work a lot today.
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Did we have a timestamp hit on that, Joe?
8:03.
Bear with me one sec. I'll come back to that. Let's let it play through, and then we'll get back to it. So,
be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. So obviously you're mocking the religion of Iran. Okay. If you seek a religious war, that's a good idea. But by the way, no decent person mocks other people's religions. You may have a problem with the theology. Presumably you do if it's not your religion, and you can explain what that is. But to mock other people's faith is to mock the idea of faith itself. And we should never mock that, because at its core is the acknowledgement that we are not in charge of the universe. We did not build it. We won't be here at the end of it. We can destroy life. We cannot create it because we are not God. The message of all faith at the biggest picture level is the message in our Bible, which is you are not God. And only if you think you are do you talk this way. But it's not just mockery of Islam. And no president should mock Islam. That's not your job. This is not a theocracy. We don't go to war with other theocracies to find out which theocracy is more effective. We are not a theocracy. And God willing, we never will be, because theocracies corrupt the religion. No, this is a mockery not just of Islam, it's a mockery of Christianity. To send out a tweet with the F word on Easter morning promising the murder of civilians and then saying praise be to Allah without explaining any of it, you are mocking me and every other Christian because we're Christians. We can't support that. That is evil. That is an intentional desecration of beauty and truth, which is the definition of evil.
I don't think he's taking this very well. Fallacious reasoning. By the way, I'm not a fan of mocking Islam either. However, mocking Islam is not the same as mocking the idea of religion itself. And him saying that means that he's having some kind of an episode where he's disconnected from logic, because those are two different things. To mock Islam is to mock Islam. It's not to mock the idea of faith itself. That's what atheists do. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. And second, Tucker's losing his shit. So I don't know what else to say.
You're muted,
and
Joe.
Rambo, you're muted.
Can we not forget that Donald Trump just a few weeks ago said, I'm not going to heaven. And the drops, it says, I'll take all these slings and arrows for you. Donald Trump is not here to be the, part the seas and be followed in a Christian manner. He's here to stir up the pot so that we have these conversations. Mm-hmm. And Tucker Carlson and him are very, very good friends. I don't see this as any more than stirring the pot so that we, the people, take back the responsibility being given to us, some of which is biblical. Donald Trump just made those comments. I might not go to heaven.
I had somebody slide into my comments the other day and attack me pretty badly over Tucker Carlson. And that's fine. Everyone's free to have their opinion. Do people really believe that Donald Trump when that truth goes out? Do people really think we're all smarter than Donald Trump and he does not realize what reaction that would cause?
Yes, that's what they think. They think Donald Trump is a dumb person who has impulse control problems.
No, but I mean people, Patrick, I'm talking about people within our movement. I'm not talking about the...
Yes, okay. I know who you're talking about, and I am watching it in real time. They're freaking out because they don't actually they're not as connected to their convictions as they thought they were.
And then do people really believe that for almost the entire period of the pause, Tucker Carlson, who was given the largest interview in the history of the world with Donald Trump, 400 million people watch it, Tucker Carlson, who was sent over to interview Vladimir Putin, who we all love saying is part of the plan, Tucker Carlson, who emceed almost every event that was hosted for Donald Trump throughout said pause, Tucker Carlson, who was with him at Mar-a-Lago, at Bedminster, at Trump National, at everywhere, Tucker Carlson, side by side. So we really believe that Donald Trump is this stupid that he got hoodwinked by this guy? I sure, if you want to believe that's fine. I don't.
I would go even a step further. What nobody's truly understanding is, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love Donald Trump as much as the next guy, but he's my favorite main character.
Mm-hmm.
This is part of the 3 movies that you're continue to watch this show. You're going to see that we've now been told, if you're paying attention, if you have the eyes to see. They're painting a picture. Donald Trump is playing a character. There is a whole operation behind him. I'm willing to take these slings and arrows for you. This is not him up there saying, praise be to Allah, because he had some twitch and decided my ego is bigger than your ego. Sure, go ahead, Panikins, and take it that way, but you're being manipulated.
Correct. So the same Tucker Carlson that did all that, then Donald Trump comes back, and this is this morning in a phone call with the New York Post. Tucker's a low IQ person that has absolutely no idea what's going on. The president said, he calls me all the time. I don't respond to his calls. I don't deal with him. I like dealing with smart people, not fools. Oh, okay. But you dealt with him for 4 years.
They're both characters.
Correct.
They really are.
This might as well be Vince McMahon and Donald Trump body slamming each other next to a wrestling.
Yes, but is it short, fat Trump? Or is it tall, fat Trump? Is it Trump with big hands or Trump with little hands? I don't know which Trump you're talking about.
Might be Trump in paradise.
Could be.
Side of a mountain.
Look, all I know is this. I don't care how much we all think we know. Those of us that are fortunate enough to have a camera in front of our face, or people in our chats, or people that do all their work on X, or people do all their work on Telegram. If you think for a minute that we know more, like Tucker Carlson is the ultimate Washington insider. And yes, sure, people may want to say that's the argument for why he's turning on Trump. But if you think by this point in 2026 that we know there's a plan going on, and we know that this stuff in Iran is not what we're being told, and we know, and Tucker Carlson doesn't, and he's simply reacting to what Fox News is telling him like a panikin, I don't know what to say. Like, I can promise you, somebody like a Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity knows way more about what's really going on than any of us that have Q podcasts. They just can't talk about it.
Man, I saw Tucker Carlson do an interview with Thomas Massie, super patriot Thomas Massie. And Tucker, when Thomas Massie explained to Tucker, every single member of Congress has an AIPAC rep assigned to them, Tucker acted completely dumbfounded, as if he had heard about this for the very first time. This is all a show designed to get people involved who would never have been involved otherwise, get people angry, stir up the seagrass, as Paul calls them. But it's not reality in any way. A Washington insider like Tucker Carlson, who basically lives next door to Susan Rice and attends barbecues with these people, knows damn well who AIPAC is and how their promotion structure works, and has been for decades.
Patrick,
stupid.
I haven't even. Well, hold on. Even a more absurd example of what you're talking about. He freaking interviewed the guy from House of Cards in character, and they talked about melding reality with art. They told you this was coming.
Yep. By the way, isn't Thomas Massie, like, isn't he one of the only people in Congress that doesn't have an AIPAC handler?
He's the only person in Congress who doesn't have an AIPAC rep, because he is exactly as pure as the driven snow, and he likes to have sex with the Constitution.
I'm just saying, we all love to hate him too.
He sucks.
I think his character sucks.
Okay.
Here's the timestamp.
Oh, sec test 1, sec test 2, sec test. This is Q drop 803. Sec test 4, sec test 5, device 1X, Secure Comms Act, SIG 5.5x5, read, then a big blank brackets Q. This is all weird. Sat sec
Well,
1X. Yeah.
You don't have to read the whole thing, but by the way, so yeah, Joe's showing is exactly what we were saying. That's the timestamp of that truth that Trump put out on Sunday. Joe, I think we're on the same page. I'm beginning to think that logically this would tell you, oh, this is like military go orders to bomb Iran. I don't think we're actually really bombing Iran. I think these are go orders for psyops that are being deployed.
And oh my God, are we going to prove that to be true? That's why I showed this. This is green for go, and that comes up in this show today. This isn't something that you read and go, oh, whatever. No, this is some sort of communication to somebody probably other than Anons, unless they're just letting you know that we were doing security tests and they're all aligning and we're in control.
Or both.
Or both.
Yep. So, all right. We got a lot to get through with the Trump speech. I just wanted to take barely 3 minutes and give a hat tip to our good friend, the professor, David Clements, who put out this video. I think it was this morning in his latest Substack. And it's titled Death, Resurrection, and the Arena, Why I Still Stand with Trump. And maybe on Saturday or on another show, we'll go through this in detail. But he, as usual, is pretty over the target with the pulse of the movement. And he's kind of in the beginning of this, he kind of talks about the black pilling and the fracture of MAGA. So, Joe, if you're okay with it, I'd like to just maybe take 3 minutes and just play a little bit of this and we can jump into it, because I think that Tucker thing is a perfect setup for this. You good?
Sure. Yep.
All right. That's good.
The sun rises again over a fractured camp. Confusion everywhere. Attacks flow from outside the MAGA movement and from within it. An old ally, whether feigned or real, turns his fire on the dawn. Alex Jones, once a loud voice for the cause, now broke down in tears on his broadcast and urged his listeners to cut bait on Trump.
When your ankles swell up 3 times the size they were before, that means heart failure. And he does look sick. And he does babble and, sound like the brain's not doing too hot. And so we just cut bait on Trump and we just mobilize against the Democrats. We need to be sad about Trump. This is not funny. This is not good. But he's gone. And that's it.
Like an ocean tide, Jones has historically moved towards Trump when he proves his doubters wrong, standing victorious, only to fall away twice as fast when it looks like Trump is defeated. Titles of truth teller, fair-weather patriot, and controlled opposition all fill the atmosphere. Yours truly gets attacked for backing Trump, rain or shine. Accusations of idolatry, worship, or failing to see him as the Antichrist. I've heard it all. Odd, as I was a never-Trumper in 2016 and have never shied away from holding unpopular views. Life has battered me 1,000 different ways, and I think it forced me to see a man, battered more than anyone, more clearly. A decade's worth of study. When I can't make sense of the man, I revisit the following. 1. If Trump was bad, evil would not try to kill him. 2. If Trump did not threaten the old order, the bot press would not lie about him every hour of every day. 3. A man cannot be the servant of evil when his mere living has woken more people to the face of evil than any other thing in our time.
Freaking
4.
men.
No man can play the deep game and at the same time be led around by the nose like a fool. As I traveled from New Orleans to Las Vegas, then Portland, speaking about the path forward, the same questions dogged me. Do you trust so-and-so? Do you think Patriot X is evil? My discernment tells me to rarely supply a conclusion about a person's heart and what lurks there, because only God knows its final destination.
I'll stop it there.
We got to get him at an event, by the way.
Yep. So I think he does a great job of presenting it there. And then as Anon's, I tack on the Joe Rambo line is I've seen too much.
Yep. Yeah, I don't agree with everything he just said, but he's over the target as hell.
Well, he's using Alex Jones as he goes with the tide, right? But that's what's now being presented with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Tucker Carlson and Thomas Massie and all these other people. It's the same. You could insert any character in there. And again,
I say watch the water.
Yeah, look, I maintain that those are the characters that are being used to sway the seagrass in and out, in and out. You don't want everyone to be happy about this war. Otherwise, all the other stuff around it wouldn't work. We talked about that on Saturday.
Besides that, what they're telling us about the war is not true. There's multiple different angles. What you're being presented with is the same as history has proven. You're being lied to. Okay, that doesn't make this administration the same as the rest. That makes this administration potentially, at least in my opinion, using their tools against them. And so how do you change mass psychology in society without playing the game that's much bigger than a White House in DC? Much, much bigger than even our borders.
And very well might be bigger than our known world.
Sure seems that way right now.
All right, Dave, you still got it.
No, dude, I'm ready for you. That's it. That's all I got.
I think that I need to figure out how to do videos where the camera looks at me in side profile, because it would make me seem like a wise man on a hill rather than a jackass screaming into my webcam. That was a reference to what Professor Clements does.
Yes.
You know, like, I'm so profound. Look, I'm in profile.
Okay. Look at this. Look at this, Patrick. This is where I'm going to start. I'm going to go into this speech, and I'm going to break this thing all the way down. This is going to take some time. Okay. And it starts slow and it feels a little bit stretchy. And by the time you're about 1/3 of the way through, you start to go, oh my God. Okay. So everybody just prepare for that. All right. It's going to start that way. Ride with me on this wave. Okay. So the first thing I pulled is actually not from the speech. It's from the Easter egg roll. Okay. And I want everybody to remember the number he says here, because the same day he says a different number. All right. So let me start with this one.
And everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. And CNN did a poll of MAGA voters, a big poll, very important poll, Harry. And he went on, he said, this is amazing, 100% support. He said, I've never had a 100% poll at anything before. And it's, do you support Trump, MAGA people, which is, by the way, mostly Republican. And if you look, I would say MAGA makes up a majority, like about 95% of the Republican Party, all right? So they went out, they did a poll, and CNN came back 100% support. So they support what we're doing, but they would like to see it end and come back. But remember, wars last years. We're in there for 34 days, and we've obliterated a very powerful country in 34 days. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd like to keep the oil. I just don't think the people of the United States would really understand.
I'll take the oil. It's okay.
Do you know what he said that's not true?
What?
34 days.
Oh.
34 days is not accurate. It's 37.
Okay.
Free drop 34, Patrick.
Of course. Q drop 34 of November 1st, 2017. Q clearance Patriot. My fellow Americans, over the course of the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from the evil tyrants that wish to do us harm and destroy the last remaining refuge of shining light. On POTUS's order, we have initiated certain fail-safes that shall safeguard the public from the primary fallout, which is slated to occur 11.3 upon the arrest announcement of Mr. Podesta, actionable 11.4. Confirmation to the public of what is occurring will then be revealed and will not be openly accepted. Public riots are being organized in serious numbers in an effort to prevent the arrest and capture of more senior public officials. On POTUS's order, a state of temporary military control will be actioned and special ops carried out. False leaks have been made to retain several within the confines of the United States to prevent extradition and special operator necessity. Rest assured, the safety and well-being of every man, woman, and child of this country is being exhausted in full. However, the atmosphere within the country will undoubtedly be divided as so many have fallen for the corrupt and evil narrative that has long been broadcast. We will be initiating the Emergency Broadcast System, EMS, during this time in an effort to provide a direct message avoiding the fake news to all citizens. Organizations and/or people that wish to do us harm during this time will be met with swift fury. Certain laws have been pre-lifted to provide our great military the necessary authority to handle and conduct these operations at home and abroad.
I'm a president in exile. Go ahead, Dave.
Certain laws, like, I don't know, habeas corpus.
I was about to say habeas corpus.
Well, not just habeas corpus, but look, there's also a messaging level that's come with this. EMS, we saw Green flash over his speeches. We saw flashes at the end of his speeches of EBS or EMS. We saw when they talk about flying or not flying in or out of the country, we've seen all of the stuff that goes with the airport's lines and sending in ICE and National Guard. They've been narrative seeding this like crazy. All right. So I'm gonna end that one and go right into the next clip. Patrick, you're gonna do a lot of reading today.
We leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages.
21.
Q drop 21 of November 1st, 2017. I've dumped some crumbs like this over the weekend, which started the intense shilling. At this point, we are far enough along. You can paint the picture without risk of jeopardizing the operation.
And I promise you what he's going to continue to do throughout this speech is paint the
picture. Yep.
Dave, holy crap, right?
Yeah, this is the one we did this in the car yesterday when I was like, wow, we were like 21. That's very specific. And then, just keep that last line in your head. You can paint the picture without jeopardizing the operation.
I'm gonna have to do this methodically. It's so here we go. So look, I'm not a big gematria guy, but when they do it in a military sense, I consider it, right? HH would be 88, correct?
Yep.
Take a listen to this.
Anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away.
HH-60 Jolly Green. Okay, we've been getting the green, and hold on to that thought. Here, read 88 first, Patrick.
Q drop 88 of November 5th, 2017. 10 days. Darkness. scare tactics, MSM. D's, falling. R's, walk away / removed. Saudi Arabia, US, Asia, EU. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Focus was US today, while real happening in Saudi Arabia under same context. Military control, martial law, missile strike, rogue, etc. Necessary. POTUS's Twitter attack, see above, important. Why is this relevant? What was the last tweet by POTUS prior to Saudi Arabia? Why is this relevant? Saudi Arabia, 1. US, 2. Asia, 3. EU, 4. Where is POTUS? Why is this relevant? Military operations, operators in US, Snow White, The Great Awakening, Godfather 3, Q.
Okay. Go ahead.
So go back one sec.
Yep.
Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Focus is in the U.S. today, while real is happening in Saudi Arabia under same context, military control, martial law. I would argue that, by the way, HH is 88. I don't think we said that. That's where you got to this.
Sure did.
I would argue that they're saying the same thing as now, just change Saudi Arabia to Iran. Focus is in Iran while the real shit is happening elsewhere.
Yep. This is going to continue. Look, that 10 days, pay very close attention. If you didn't watch Trump's speech yesterday, he mentioned that very clearly. Okay. The 10 days, the darkness, everything that Dave just talked about here in the middle, absolutely 100% relevant. Bear with it. Like I said, for the first third, you're not going to start connecting it. And then as he goes, you go, oh my God, he painted the whole damn picture. Right. So this is going to start this way where you're going, okay, where does it connect? And then it's going to start smashing like crazy. Well, we did the HH, which is 88, right? Like you said, Dave. And then he said 60 and then green. Well, here's 60. Patrick?
Q drop number 60 of November 2nd, 2017. You can count the people who have the full picture on 2 hands. Of those, less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Why is this relevant? Game theory. Outside of a potential operator who has been dialed in with orders specific to his or her mission, nobody else has this information. Operators never divulge. Alice and Wonderland.
For anybody that's already watched the whole speech, you're already going to pick up on, holy crap, 88 and 60 and then a green should blow your mind already. If you haven't seen the speech, hang in tight. We're going to get into the rest of it.
What about green?
The green means go. We had the green over top. So, and you're going to see it further along too, when it comes to CIA and clown ops and green, but they did the green over top of his speeches multiple times. The green means go. We've had the GO in kill brackets. We've talked about on shows prior. Go ahead, Dave. You wanted to say something?
I would just add also, we didn't dive into it because it's an obvious one, but when he said FUCKIN, he left the G off, which also brings off of that go.
Which goes
and Joe, one other thing before you go to the next drop, would you mind just pulling that down? Just because you're doing the numbers and the gematria, can I just remind everybody of what we talked about on Saturday, which is that he's saying F-15, but they were very specific to say that it was an F-15E. That's what this entire press conference is about. As we identified on Saturday, that F-15E just happens to add up to 17.
You don't suffer from it. You just have it.
I don't have it. All right. This is where I went, wait a second. What the F is going on? All right. So I got through that first stuff and I'm like, all right, this all is relevant to Q or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And then he runs this string of numbers. And the whole string ended up being relevant. Let's take a look.
Really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas. So we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing.
All right.
That's a lot of freaking numbers.
It's a lot of numbers. Okay. And it's very weird. He's talking about subterfuge or whatever it was. Right there, they're, look in my right hand when it's really in my left. Here's 155, which is the total collective number that he broke down.
What the hell?
Right. So there's your green. Let's just start there, right? It's military code. It's some level of code. And it ends with green. Bunker, apple, yellow sky, and kill brackets, ... +1. Yes, and Godspeed. And this Godspeed will come back into play. Okay. That's 155. Then he said 4 bombers. Patrick?
Q drop 4 of October 29th, 2017. Some of us come here to drop crumbs, just crumbs. POTUS is 100% insulated. Any discussion suggesting he's even a target is false. POTUS will not be addressing Nation on any of these issues as people begin to be indicted and must remain neutral for pure optical reasons. To suggest this is the plan is false and should be common sense. Focus on military intelligence / state secrets. And why might that be used versus any 3-letter agency? What Supreme Court decision opened the door for a sitting president to activate what must be showed? Why is POTUS surrounded by generals? Again, there are a lot more good people than bad, so have faith. This was a hostile takeover from an evil, corrupt network of players, not just Democrats. Don't fool yourself into thinking Obama, Soros, the Roths, Clintons, etc. have more power than present-day POTUS. Operation Mockingbird, patriots are in control. Sit back and enjoy the show.
This is where I started to go, wait a damn second. He's starting to talk about Obamas, the Clintons, the Soroses, where things are now starting to connect in this speech, where I already at this point started to feel like he's painting a picture. 155 smashed, 4 smashes. Here's 64.
Wow. Q drop 64 of November 2nd, 2017. Fellow patriots, I'm being advised actions have created accelerated counteractions. We have not yet ascertained the scope of the attack. Watch the news outlets. POTUS's Twitter takedown was not by accident, as referenced several hours ago. Should the lights go out, please know we are in control. Do not panic. We are prepared and assets are in place. God bless. I must go for good at this point. Q.
What did we just talk about? But the green for go, the EBS, right? So this is all leading in a certain direction. Well, what number was after 64 but 48? Hold on. Before you say this,
Yeah.
Tonight at 8 p.m., what are they going to destroy but bridges and power plants? Okay.
Oh my.
Where does the deal, where does Q clearance come from?
The Department of Energy.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead and read this, Patrick.
Well, and what did the last drop say? Should the lights go out?
Should the lights go out?
Q drop number 48, November 2nd, 2017. What is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? DOE? Who would have the goods on uranium 1? Does stating Q refer that person works in DOE? No. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? May 2010, Barack Obama. Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner under Section 123 of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, after agreeing to a new nuclear weapons reduction deal and helping U.S. with Iran.
Holy shit.
Enemy. What is being continually stated by all Ds? Russia is what? What did the Russia reset really provide? clearance/pathway to complete the U-1 deal? Why is the Canadian Prime Minister so important? They never thought that they were going to lose. The calm before the storm.
By the way, remember this drop number 48. It's not the only time he smashed it in this speech. Dave, do you got anything so far? Because right now, when I got to this point, I was like, OMG.
Only other thing I would add is that first drop had Godspeed in it, and we just did a 3-part decode the other day on Dan Scavino posting related to the Artemis moon mission at 1:02 a.m., which hits another drop that has green, confirmation green, and Godspeed. Elon Musk came back, had Godspeed, and if you remember, the time difference of that had a reference to it as well. I'm not going to go and redo that whole thing, but this all connects to what we were showing on Saturday as well.
Now, the next number in line that he brought up was 13. Patrick?
Q drop 13 of October 30th, 2017. Now think about the timing of POTUS traveling to China/South Korea. I've said too much. God bless Patriots.
Okay, this is where it gets a little, like right here, I was like, all right, so that seems like it's out of nowhere. And so I went and
Joe,
go ahead.
Can I add one thing very quickly?
Sure.
The last drop talked about Russia. This one talks about China. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to it, but lost in the news cycle last week was the fact that there was a big summit in Russia last week between the leaders of China and Russia. So,
well, and do you know when currently the next time Trump's going to China? It's literally right around the corner. Patrick?
From Brookings, President Donald Trump is planning to visit China in May. The last time Trump went to Beijing was in November 2017, which is when these drops took place, when he was received with a State Plus treatment in the Forbidden City. However, soon after that trip, Trump launched an unprecedented trade war against China, and bilateral relations fell to a nadir. This year's visit takes place at a time when bilateral ties are in a state of fragile stability following a period of turmoil in the first year of Trump's second term. How will Trump's second trip to China impact bilateral relations over the coming 3 years?
State Plus, in quotes, I found very interesting. That is some Donald Trump speak. Has anybody ever heard anybody use plus or plus plus or plus 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 before?
Never.
Okay, the last number brought up, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'll give you some preemptive. Through the rest of this, I think it all paints a picture about Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Okay, and the last number brought up in this thing was number 7.
Q drop number 7 of October 29th, 2017. Why wasn't Hillary Rodham Clinton prosecuted for the emails? Put simply, Obama ultimately okayed by using the non-government email Addy address to communicate with Clinton. Obama also had an alias along with each of his cabinet members. Therefore, indicting HRC would lead to indicting Obama and his cabinet, etc., which could never happen. Remember, he lied about knowing, but that ultimately came out in the dump. Poof. Is he saying Obama is a poof?
He's definitely saying that Hillary and Obama are connected.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely saying he can't indict one without doing the other, and the other is protecting due to presidential, rights or whatever. And we're not even through the picture. Okay, this is just where I started to be like, how the hell did they just drop that string of numbers and every single one of them smashes with what's going on right now? And so let me take this one down. We'll go into the next clip. This is the picture has only begun to be painted. Okay.
So everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes. So everybody thought he was located.
Dave, you got to take yours down.
I don't have anything up there.
So everybody thought
something's not working.
We can see it.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind.
9-25.
Oh, right. What did he say in that absolutely absurd Truth Social post? With the F word,
And
etc.
praise be to Allah.
Okay, what's 925 say, Patrick?
Q drop number 925 of March 10th, 2018. This is not about religions or party affiliation. Evil is everywhere. There are no drawn lines, no boundaries. Good versus evil. Q.
What the?
Joe, can I just say something very quickly before you keep going? Because there's maybe people that didn't see our Saturday show.
Sure.
It's at least, I think, our belief, and I think what we showed on Saturday, given the completely absurd narratives that we were getting, I'll just speak for myself. I don't believe there was actually a downed plane in the first place.
I don't either.
Okay, so I maybe we should have said that right at the outset. So if you're working off the theory that they're just giving a story, and by the way, we broke that all down on Saturday, right? The pictures we got of the Iranian government, of the ejector seat, all the things that did not add up. The F-13E being a 17, like we painted a picture why at least we don't believe that that was an event. Maybe that event happened in the past during one of the special operations. I don't know, but we don't believe that what you're seeing on the news is happening right now. Therefore, if it's not, then what Joe is showing and the numbers they're giving you on a rescue operation that didn't actually happen become even more relevant. That means they've been purposely selected within that speech. I think we maybe should have said that from the outset. That's why I give, when we were sitting there listening to yesterday, that's why we're giving so much weight to the numbers. Because like, well, wait a second, if this isn't happening in real time, this isn't an actual thing going on right now, then they literally picked these numbers on purpose. I know that might be a little redundant for this audience, but I think it's worth laying out there.
Well, I mean, look, I think the presentation ends up speaking for itself, and that's exactly what I believe that it paints, right? What we're being shown right here, they're painting a picture of something bigger happening. Barack Obama is tied to Iran. Barack Obama is tied to Kenya. Freaking Hillary Clinton is tied to Barack Obama, which is tied to Huma, which is, this is all, every single character, like the ones we hate the most are tied to this whole thing. And this speech, when you tie everything Donald Trump said, numbers wise, every syllable, every word, every time he spoke out of the side of his mouth, central casting, which is what we'll get into some more here later, everything points to what was going on here at home. And the infiltration, the foreign entities that they were tied to. This Iran thing, in my opinion, if we're going to just lay it out there before we get to the full presentation, is 100% a D-class disclosure operation for what's been going on tied U.S. government to foreign entities, which is everything they've been talking about. When it comes to elections, when it comes to drugs, when it comes to cartels, when it comes to any open borders.
And Joe, what is the intense blackpilling and coordinated kayfabe that we've been trying to highlight over the last few weeks, all pointing that crowd towards, right? This is why this is important. The people that are running into the Marjorie Taylor Greens and the Candace Owens and the Tucker Carlsons of the world are being pointed and taught exactly what you just said. And they're using Trump. That is why Trump is taking the slings and arrows to get audience C, whatever you want to call them, to believe that right now in real time, all of this stuff in this unpopular war is happening because of the foreign infiltration that Joe is speaking about. That's why I don't get upset about the coordinated kayfabe and blackpilling, because that audience is being taught exactly what Joe just said.
Yep. Yeah, and we, the ones that read the drops, are giving enough confirmation that we can be like, oh, holy crap, this isn't happening in real time. This already went down. And so this is the point where I believe we have to be there for those people, right? You know how we all this is where there's going to be panicins. This is where they're going to stir the pot. This is where they're going to start to expose some things. And Donald Trump may not be the great unifier. Donald Trump may be the great, I'll take slings and arrows for you, stirrer of the pot.
Yep.
And that's what's happening right now. And holy crap, we're not even a third of the way through right now. This is where it started to get interesting for me.
It's not even interesting. It just starts getting interesting.
Bro,
now.
it gets crazy,
yeah,
dude.
It gets crazy. It gets crazy.
Here he is talking about blowing him to smithereens.
For almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes. It carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane, and then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down, and we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment.
He
So
said,
can
yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What?
No, I don't want to jump on that. That's an important point. Finish that first.
He said contingency about, I'm exaggerating, but it felt like 17 times in this speech.
Yeah.
Okay. That contingency statement is a little bit mind blowing. I'm not going to go there yet because I'm going to show another one where he says it a bunch more times. Dave, if you want to say something before I keep going.
Yeah, let me just jump. Let me throw this one in because he was talking about this as he was laying out what they did to kind of obliterate them. Just as just another little clue that what he's trying to paint, the picture he's trying to paint for you, Joe.
So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't.
Patrick?
Do you understand what that means, Patrick? Okay,
1, 5, 8, and 3.
That's 17. Yep. And here's the other thing. Trump's giving us completely mixed messages. We're flying over Iran with impunity. They have no more rockets left. They have nowhere to shoot their rockets from. They have no Navy, and they have just a piece of their Air Force. And then we have this rescue mission, right? Which the rest of the things I'm going to show are going to paint. We have this rescue mission where it was so dangerous, and we go into this area. It's got soft dirt and mostly sand, and we're not even sure if our airplanes can land there because we're getting shot at. Right? We got a plane go down, and I don't want to go too far ahead. I want to paint the whole thing the way that he did. So that was smithereens. Patrick, do you have any comments yet?
No.
Okay. Is everyone aware of when in the drops it talked about less than 10 a few times?
Yep.
Less than 10. Let me show that first. Patrick, drop number 60.
Q drop number 60 of November 2nd, 2017. You can count the people who have the full picture on 2 hands. Of those, less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. Why is this relevant? Game theory. outside of a potential operator who's been dialed in with orders specific to his or her mission. Nobody else has this information. Operators never divulge Alice and Wonderland.
Okay, when Donald Trump repeats something over and over, like, this has been the greatest thing the world has ever seen, right? He says that over and over and over so that it gets seated in your mind. He does it with other things. And he did it here. And so I instantly went to that drop. Take a listen.
Plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes, and that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all three of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well.
Okay.
Right, less than 10. Less than 10. So more than once.
It's not just that. It's the context of where he's using it. So Joe and I were laughing so hard when we listened to this, I almost drove off the highway because he's trying to tell you they rebuilt a helicopter in less than 10 minutes. We were like, that's ridiculous. And then we both looked at each other at the same moment. We were like, wait a second, less than 10. So he's giving you if you don't think these are comms, then I guess you believe they can rebuild a helicopter, an entire helicopter in less than 10 minutes. Which is it?
Okay. Hey, helicopter geniuses, tell us how they can rebuild a helicopter in less than 10 minutes.
Hold on a second. I'm going to play it again for you. He also mentions the three of which are non-military.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Less than 10, three of us were told. Listen again.
Plane, and these guys had them. The rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all three of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well.
Read that just one line again, Patrick.
Of course. Of those less than 10 people, only 3 are non-military. It's all right there.
Come
3
on.
helicopters. Less than 10 minutes, all 3 helicopters. Dude.
Hold on. This is a good time for this. Where's my autism kid? There
He suffers from autism. I don't suffer. I just have it.
And he's also talking about these people. He keeps talking about the people that are around him are brilliant. Kind of like the people that put together this plan that we believe we're watching. That will come up later as well, I believe.
Dude, this next one's going to take some reading from you, Patrick, but this is where Dave and I were sold as we were driving back. At least I was.
Okay.
I shouldn't speak for Dave. But he started saying contingencies over and over and over. And I looked at Dave and I'm like, dude, there's something to that. Why does he keep saying contingencies? And
Yeah,
Dave,
at which point I almost crashed because I was trying to look it up in the drops.
Yeah. Yep. I know. And I was very nervous because it was my car he was driving.
True story.
So, all right. One more clip here. Take a listen.
Forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine right in the middle? This was central. This was right you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. One load out, one load out, one load out. It happened. And we were watching and we said, that's amazing. It's, in many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that, if we would have had a runway or decent soil, but it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them and the talent. The genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly. And within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group.
All right. Joe, before you go into the numbers.
I think he said contingency 3 times.
He said it 3 times. First of all, before we get to that, he literally told you this would be the central casting if you were picking a location for a movie. Okay.
Right.
And it might get lost because we're doing it clip by clip. But if you listen, he spent almost an hour describing intricately what this airman supposedly went through. And I'm sorry, but like, it's so over the top, it's absurd. So he's describing this dramatic, crazy thing, and he climbed the mountain, and then he tells you, it's almost central location for a movie. He's telling you what he's saying isn't real, in my opinion. Then he says contingency 3 times, and where Joe and I said, wait a second, is that he said, I was almost more impressed by the contingency than I was the operation. And that's where we're like, whoa, wait a second here.
Okay. I'm not following yet.
You will in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Well, first, I did miss something on that last clip because we got stuck on the 10 and the 3. He also did say 5 and 5 twice. Somebody in the chat reminded me, and I actually had that in here. So just real quick, just to recap, that was also in there. He said 5.
Q drop 55 of November 2nd, 2017. Look to Twitter. Exactly this. My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. God bless.
Okay. Now, as far as the contingency stuff, Patrick, this is going to be a lot of reading. I got 4 slides for you.
Q drop 1,928.
Oh, hold on. This is where Dave is so right. They also dropped in the movie stuff. All right, go ahead, Patrick.
Q drop 1,928 of August 20th, 2018. Movie 1, Showtime. BO to CS to BO to NO to CS to NO to BO. Who instructed the DOJ to release select text messages? When did RR learn of involvement? BO and NO. What happens if RR knew prior to signing CP FISA? Why did RR, under congressional testimony, refuse to answer the question reading of FISA prior to execution? Who signed page 380? Who signed page 389? Who signed page 390? Who signed page 391? Who signed page 392? Link to vault.fbi.gov. Who is somebody? Firewalls, 1 of 4. Who signed? Firewalls. Who signed? Firewalls. FISA 20. The trilogy, movie 1, full, the start. Plot. How the intelligence apparatus, State Department, and Department of Justice of the United States, in joint effort with our ex-primary foreign allies and other covert assets as directed by Hussein, White House, in coordination with HRC, colluded and conspired to rig the presidential election of 2016 in an effort to install HRC, frame POTUS, rejection, create emergency contingencies, Installation of safeguards and firewalls to prevent exposure or continuation of presidency should counter fail to ensure operators, actors, agents of power, past and present, remain in control and use sources/covert assets of the fake news media to carry out X frame barrage of strategic coordinated guided attacks designed to divide, cover/shelter, justify impeachment/removal in effort to regain control and prevent public awareness of illegal, criminal, treasonous acts. Movies 1 through 3, full list. Coming soon to a theater near you. Movie 2, coming this fall. Movie 3, to be announced. Enjoy the show. Q.
Joe, before you keep going, also just obviously there's your contingencies. That's the contingencies we believe he's talking about.
And the movie.
And also keep in mind, and use sources and covert assets of the fake news media to carry out and frame barrage of strategic coordinated attacks designed to divide, covert, shelter. Okay. What are we talking about 2 weeks ago with Donald Trump when he started turning around after we did our show on Lincoln jailing the media?
Oh,
and then he was talking about the current media colluding with Iran and that they should be brought up on treason. All of this is connected.
Dude, and the rest of, like I said, we're not even halfway. Patrick, one more for the this. I apologize to do this to you, but this is the other one that has to do with exactly what we're talking about.
That's is not the same one.
Nope. This is 1928.
You're right, dude. You're absolutely right. Yep.
Oh, you're right. It is slightly different. Who's NO? Who's CS?
Nellie Orr and Christopher Steele.
Thanks, dude. All right. Q drop number 1929. And by the way, this is different from what I just read of August 20th, 2018. Movie 1, Showtime. Barack Obama, Christopher Steele. Barack Obama, Nellie Orr, Christopher Steele, Nellie Orr, Barack Obama. Who instructed the DOJ to... Oh, God. BO is Bruce Orr.
Bruce Orr.
God dang it. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
All right. So Bruce Orr was like number 4 at the Justice Department, and
Right.
Nellie Orr was the one who got like a ham radio license or something. Okay. Try again. Bruce Orr to Christopher Steele to Bruce Orr to Nellie Orr to Christopher Steele to Nellie Orr to Bruce Orr. Who instructed the DOJ to release select text messages? When did Rod Rosenstein learn of involvement? Bruce Orr, Nellie Orr. What happens if Rod Rosenstein knew prior to signing CP? I don't know what CP stands for. FISA. Oh.
CP
Come on.
is
I don't know. Damn it.
Somebody that they Papadopoulos.
Carter Page.
Thanks, dude.
There
All
you
right.
go.
The Carter Page FISA. Why did Rod Rosenstein, under congressional testimony, refuse to answer the question reading of FISA prior to execution? Who signed page 380? Who signed page 389? Who signed page 390? Who signed page 391? Who signed page 392? Vault.fbi.gov D1-release/D1-release/view. Who is one of 4 firewalls who signed FISA 20, the trilogy, movie 1, full, the start. I can't believe this is a totally separate plot, separate post.
Yep.
Okay. It just looks identical.
It's
Movie
it's
1,
slightly
full,
different.
start, plot. How the intelligence apparatus, State Department, and Department of Justice of the United States, in joint effort with our ex-primary foreign allies and other covert assets, as directed by Hussein, White House, what does that mean, white hat? You never know. In coordination with HRC, colluded and conspired to rig the presidential election of 2016.
Hold on, Sal.
Yeah.
That white hat, I'm going to bring that back up. Okay. I was going to let you go through this with White House. I do believe there's the potential that it's both. I don't know how to explain this now, but I do want everybody to think mirror. They went in to save Dude 44, Alpha and Bravo. I have been saying on this show for a very long time that the second term of Barack Obama looked like it was setting up the operation that was Donald Trump, then Joe Biden, then Donald Trump. I am starting to think that that what we're watching here may be something you can at least look at 2 different ways. in pulling out these people. We leave no American behind, right? Donald Trump's going to get into this whole, we're not going to let anybody be controlled by a foreign entity. We're not going to leave anybody in a war zone. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I think there's the possibility they're talking about Barack, the nuclear weapon himself, the uranium one.
Joe, to lean into what you're saying, if you go into that document that they're referring to, now they're asking who signed. Now, I got to be honest, I'm not sure exactly who they're pointing to on that because there are multiple signatures. There's a bunch of different documents. There's like that link in there. It's very, very long. But it is very interesting when you get to the first page of it that you have Sally Yates' signature. The date is redacted so that you get 1/17, and it was certified on 3/17/17.
Wait, hang on. So a bunch of 17s.
I believe a lot of what you saw in, I think Joe's on the same page with me to his point about Obama setting this up. I believe more of what we saw in this grand conspiracy post 2016, that there was a much bigger level of control than we might realize. That it wasn't just Donald Trump when the Q operation started openly fighting the deep state in unrestricted warfare. That there was some of it that was a show. And the more I dig and I keep seeing things like that, the 1.7 million pallets of cash, that just happened to be the number. And then there's a document here that's laid out within this grand conspiracy about them trying to collude to stop Trump. And the document that they're pointing to in there just happens to be that it's redacted and it says 1/17 and it was certified on 3/17/17. Whose signature is that? Like, meaning whose footprint is that you see there? Whose fingerprints are all over that? Is that a deep state or is that a white hat fingerprint?
Here, Patrick, I'll ask you a question. What if, similar to Epstein letting everybody know there was a child trafficking thing going on, isn't quite adding up to like he's the demon? It was more the network that was going on. Mm-hmm. What if Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were the gateway to us understanding about foreign interference? Right? And we have been bred to hate these people, the Epsteins, the Hillary Clintons, the Barack Obamas, because they're the connections to the foreign interference.
Right. And it doesn't mean they're good people. It just means that maybe they were under a level of control in 2016, 2015, 2016 because of those crimes, and we just weren't aware of it.
Well, I mean, I think with Hillary, strong evidence points to September 11th, 2016.
Agreed.
And, it's becoming almost quasi-mainstream to say that's the last time any of us ever saw the real Hillary Clinton.
Agreed. Yeah, and look, I'll take all these slings and arrows for you. It's not about one or two people. It's about freaking foreign interference, which is huge. Now, we all want to demonize these people. And believe me, I do too. I'm not letting them off the hook when I say this. But the picture being painted is much bigger than Hillary and Bill and the Clinton Foundation. Yeah. It's about influence in trying to infiltrate our country.
What does Q say? Bigger than anyone can imagine.
Sorry, Patrick. I didn't mean to interrupt, bro.
No problem. Still trying to figure out how this post is different. Plot. Movie 1 full, the start. Plot how the intelligence apparatus, State Department of Justice of the United States, in joint effort with our ex-primary foreign allies and other covert assets, as directed by Hussein WH, in coordination with the HRC, colluded and conspired to rig the presidential election of 2016 in an effort to install HRC, frame POTUS, projection, create emergency contingencies, reinstallation of safeguards and firewalls, prevent exposure or continuation of presidency should counter fail to ensure operators, actors, agents of power, past and present, remain in control and use sources and covert assets of the fake news media to carry out X-frame barrage of strategic, coordinated, guided attacks designed to divide, cover / shelter, justify impeachment / removal in effort to regain control and prevent public awareness of illegal, criminal, treasonous acts. Movies 1 through 3, full list, coming soon to a theater near you. Movie 2 coming this fall. Movie 3 TBA. Enjoy the show. Q.
Well, there's your contingency posts. Okay. Look, does anyone believe that Donald Trump knows the difference between the word award and reward? Who gets awards?
Actors.
Yeah. Who gets rewards? People who turn people
Children
in.
who behave themselves.
Yeah, you get a reward if you behave yourself. You get a reward if you turn somebody in that's got a bounty on their head.
Ooh.
But these two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about, because some things you can't do. Because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long, and I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in.
The fake news media, and now there's an award because of a leaker. Patrick?
Q drop number 532 of January 14th, 2018. MSM Fake News Awards. Are you prepared? Memes / posts organized and coordinated. POTUS may retweet one or more. Ready for launch? Show the world the truth. Open their eyes. Don't let POTUS suffer from the Soros / loser bots that continually flood. Make the Fake News Awards your first organized tweet storm day. Making America great again. Q. Q drop number 567 of January 19th, 2018. And Anon says, any insight into the Fake News Awards? Hard to believe POTUS would have to reschedule 10 days later just to tweet a link, unless something else was happening there. Was our work here successful for what you needed from us? Combat tactics, says Q.
Think about that for a second. He's talking about awards, and Q responds to someone talking about fake news awards with combat tactics.
Which is a Hunt for Red October reference.
2 weeks
Combat
after,
tactics, Mr. Ryan.
A week after he was talking about the fake news media colluding with the Iranian government and that they should be brought up on charges of treason. This is not a press conference about Iran. This is a press conference about what Joe is showing you, and in one of them in particular, is against the mainstream media. That's the combat tactics, not what you're seeing on your television.
Boom, boom, boom. Don't let me get ahead of myself. One more, Patrick.
Q drop 1304 of April 30th, 2018. Emmy Awards red carpet event. Q.
Does any of that feel like a coincidence, you guys?
No.
Okay.
I really want to just hit on, it's very difficult, in my opinion, to say awards when the clear word is rewards. That's just me, maybe. I am a big stickler about stuff like that. Like, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It sticks out as being an old man being sloppy with his word choice to people who aren't listening.
The cognitive dissonance that comes with Donald Trump is dumb in the way he speaks versus he's doing that on purpose. Hence covfefe, the orange face. There's tons of things. My man is a character. This isn't one of those things where he's riffing, by the way. If you notice this whole time, he's reading.
Yep.
Whoever, I don't know if this is the 5'3" Trump or the 6'3" Trump, but the man is reading a script. This isn't, the teleprompters aren't working, so I'm going to do the weave. He's reading from the teleprompter. And by the way, this is only the second time they used this movie lighting behind him.
That's right.
Look, there's more. Let's keep going.
That we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. Eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky, too, because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive. And we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic. Boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius.
Patrick?
He keeps saying genius over and over again.
He said contingent again, too, and then he said boom, boom, boom.
He did. Q drop number 954 of March 17th, 2018. Next week, boom, 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 Q.
You know what's funny? I'm just about halfway done. Everything he freaking said in this speech connected to what's going on in the drops. How many years ago?
Call me Stretch Armstrong, but that last document we were looking at in the other comms was notarized on 3/17, and this drop is dated 3/17.
Son of a bitch.
And by the way, Joe, you already hit this one, but he just did it again. He was very specific, 13,000 targets. Well, there's no drop 13,000. You drop the zeros, and you get back to the same drop that you already showed.
Well, okay, so that's the really cool part about this speech. The second half smashes some of the same drops again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ones that you grabbed the first time and you're like, whoa, that's interesting. He then bangs off them again for a second time.
Oh my
like
gosh.
This was probably the most calm speech I've ever heard.
Filled.
Yes, there you go. I'll take one chocolate glaze, one calm filled. That's funny. Yeah. Here, Patrick.
Yes,
what
sir.
could he possibly be saying here? And they came in like magic. Boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. I'm so impressed by that. Because we were a little concerned. We said, boy,
If they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane. But they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go. Blah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand. So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me and many others that worked. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Anything jump out at you there, Patrick?
Well, for me, I'm kind of just stuck on his just repeated use of the word genius, because if you discount drops where the word genius appears, but only in a URL, meaning the only time it appears in actual text is Q drop 1114. And it is it's an anon explaining how it's got a dancing Pepe. And it explains how to decode Q. It explains the whole thing. And it's the only use of the word genius in all of the Q drops, other than things that happen to be part of URLs.
He did the central casting movie thing again.
Yep, that too.
And he called it Iran Prime. What is one of the largest video movie streaming platforms in the world?
That would be Prime.
Prime Media. Yeah, Amazon Prime.
Iran Prime, central casting, movies. That's where my head went.
And what did we already go through? This is what I mean. He's re-smashing the drops we already talked about. This is when he just said contingency plan. What did we just go through? Movie 1, movie 2, movie 3.
Iran Prime.
What the hell does that mean otherwise? This was Iran Prime. It was a farm. It was like central casting. It was like, if you were going to cast a movie, you'd do it here. How do you say it any more forward than that? It's starting to make me mad that nobody's hearing it. I don't want to get mad. I don't want to get mad.
He said Iran Prime. I looked over at Joe. I go, dude, am I being stretchy right now? Because, like, where else is my head supposed to go?
Oh, hey, guys, I'm back from retard school.
What the hell?
He's like Iran Prime.
Isn't that wonderful?
Dude, this is where this was just another time. By the way, by the time I got to this point, my mind had already been blown like 3 or 4 times. And so I was like, I could probably turn this off. I'm good, right? We got enough for the show. But no, I kept going. And listen to Hegseth here. Oh my God, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, listen to this, Patrick.
And the final mission was complete inside our skiff, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 minutes and 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield.
Patrick, you would never believe what 4556 says. Yo, hold on, guys. If you're enjoying this, with Dave and I put a lot of work into this thing. Smash the thumbs up if you're watching on Rumble. Take that red pill over on Pill to hit the heart, drop a comment, share the show on Facebook and X. Super appreciated. Thank you guys for supporting us. Patrick, go ahead. 4556.
Q drop number 4556 of July 1st, 2020. Worth repeating, MSDNC pushes coordinated fake, false, misleading disinformation based on a biased Democrat political viewpoint, controlled mouthpieces. Blue check marks then defend and attack, target, opposing viewpoints using slander, aggression, suppression, groupthink, etc. Suppression tactics. Non-blue check marks then defend and promote attackers, blues, viewpoints, left-wing cult, to instill echo chamber, wall-to-wall amplified narrative for each designated subject. Select public discovery topics are deemed and ranked in priority order. Ranking determines use of assets, big to small, how to herd the sheep. You 101. If you do not follow, remain in line with their political viewpoints, you are deliberately made to feel in the minority, isolated, and inferior, using aggression, slander. If majority thinks X, then X must be true. Projected false reality. Minority projected as majority, using news, social media platforms to spotlight designated viewpoints. The narrative. A public person that thinks for themselves, independent free thought, is what they fear the most. Loss of control. Q.
Welcome to D class.
Combat tactics.
Mr. Ryan.
Am I the only one that was mind blown? Dude, 45 hours and 56 minutes. He did it so deliberately, and it smashes with what they're talking about. I'll tell you guys, I'm telling you, we were in my car, Dave was driving, and we looked this up, and we looked at each other like, what the hell is going on? It blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what he said right after it, Patrick?
What?
Because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khomeini. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day.
Storm.
Your faith amid whatever the storm.
Amid the storm.
Patrick? Remember that Department of Energy thing? Remember that 8 o'clock tonight we're going to destroy their energy and take out their bridges?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. Q drop 48. What is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? DOE? Who would have the goods on uranium-1? Does stating Q refer that person works in DOE? No. Does it refer that person dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Why is this relevant? May 2010. BO. Russia should be viewed as a friendly partner under Section 123 of the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 after agreeing to a new nuclear weapons reduction deal and helping the U.S. with Iran. Who's the enemy? What's being continually stated by all Ds? Russia is what? What did the Russia reset really provide? Clearance/pathway to complete the Uranium One deal. Why is the Canadian Prime Minister so important? They never thought they were going to lose. The calm before the storm.
Bro, that is, in my opinion, Dave, that's a banger. Like, everything that we've just watched, and they're now here with this, talking about the Iran, U.S. with Iran. Who's the enemy? Russia. They never thought they were going to lose the calm before the storm. And Hegseth, right after smashing the boards, says that. Go ahead. I see you got something.
Well, I don't know. Do you have the Hegseth God is good clip?
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Okay. Can I inject this for a minute? Because, dude, trust me, I was sitting there with you while we were doing this. I'm 1,000% on board with all this. But I do want to just literally, this will take 1 minute. Because they are speaking to multiple audiences. And if you remember, I looked over you at one point, Joe, and I said, are they trying to do this in a way where a certain segment of the audience is going to be like, this is all war propaganda? Like maybe that Tucker Carlson crowd that's believing we're being controlled by Israel, right? So I'm going to play this because I think there's like three audiences here, right? There's what we're seeing, which I think is obvious for our crowd. There's the normies that are buying this as a wonderful American war story of a rescue. And then I do believe there's a large audience that's listening to Tucker and Candace and getting their education on foreign control that are going to look at this very, very scripted propaganda for that audience and are kind of rolling their eyes like they're trying to sell us on this war. And if you listen to this, I don't mean to take anything away from the Holy Weekend, but it's like if you were going to script something to try to pull at the heartstrings of people, you would do it exactly this way by telling a story like this. Oh, I should probably get my sound on. Sorry about that.
Easter is the timeline. Donald Trump even mentions that later in my presentation. So yeah, Dave, absolutely. Go ahead.
Do this. One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good.
Look, I'm actually completely with you, right? Some people think if there's deception involved, it can't be godly. And there's the other mindset that good people are presenting good things in a way to sway the sea masses back away from an evil entity that's been doing exactly the opposite same thing to us for decades and decades and generations. And so, you know, when you hear somebody like, you know, God would never lie. Okay. God uses people. There's been a script to put us in some sort of demonic path. If there is no borders and there is no battle between religion, then we're only up against a psychological warfare aspect. And so I have zero problem with them doing this. I'm not saying I'm right and I'm okay with it if it hurts your feelings. We can still be friends and I love you. But I am completely okay with them using this type of script language to deprogram the programming that was going on because the prior programming was evil. Makes sense?
All war is based on deception. Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
It was always supposed to be biblical. We were told this for the last 10 years.
10 years.
And so what? We're supposed to let our people not fight against that? We're just supposed to allow evil to continue to do it? I disagree. I am completely okay with this. But that's what that was. That's what that was. God is good. Like you couldn't have written a more heart-wrenching speech about what that, while you're telling us it's a movie, it's central casting. You're telling us all these things, and then you're dropping lines like that. Good for you. I hope you grab everybody by their heartstrings. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yep.
You ready? I still got a handful left. This never ends. All right.
For 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win.
I thought the 7 was interesting there, Patrick.
Q drop 7, October 29th, 2017. Why wasn't HRC prosecuted for the emails? Put simply, Obama ultimately okayed by using the non-government email Addy to communicate with Clinton. Obama also had an alias along with each of his cabinet members. Therefore, indicting HRC would lead to indicting Obama and his cabinet, etc., which could never happen. Remember, he lied about knowing, but that ultimately came out in the dump. Oof.
There it is. More Clinton, more Obama tie-ins. Every single, this whole speech, I'm pretty much grabbed every number they said. And it all aligns. So that either means that everything that Q talked about is coming to a head right now, or they intentionally tied in every single number and word and syllable in this speech to let you know that it's all coming to a head now.
Yep.
Dave, do you have any thoughts on that?
Nope, that's exactly where I am, brother.
Oof. How do I didn't, hold on. I got to save one. I got to give Matrix a shout out on this next one. And for some reason, I didn't save it. Right. It's saved. Here's another one. When I told you every single number seemed to align, just another example. So shortly after that, this is where they start talking about the CIA, right? So Donald Trump already told us that the CIA did a great job. We already saw Ratcliffe come up to the lectern and speak. For anybody that's read the drops, you would know what clown ops insinuates. They're talking about the CIA. Take a listen to this one.
What I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the president said, around operational security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely.
So there you are. 10:10 is when this thing happened, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Q drop number 1010 of April 4th, 2018, making reference to 1009. Troops to border, clown black ops, private funds. Raised how? Troops at border does what? Impact to who? D's involved. MS-13/illegals, roadblock, sex traffic, roadblock, children, roadblock, drugs, roadblock, guns, roadblock, China, Russia, pass-through, intel pull, roadblock. Name we don't say, Arizona, roadblock. Jeff Flake, Arizona, roadblock. Big money, terminate. The wall means more than you know. The fight for the wall is for so much more. Q. Money, power, control. People are simply in the way. Slaves, sheep, pawns. Mass extinction events designed to decrease threat level of population. Gun control, wars, fake. top happy, back end deal, election rigging, control, your voice does not matter, pharma, class -D, water, air, chemicals pushed for home use cleaning, cancer, baby on floor, hands in mouth, the start, vaccines, not all, tobacco, opioids, ultimate win, death and money, the Fed, Rothschild, conspiracy, UK/Germany, 5 days. Choice is yours. Revelations, enough is enough. Q.
They are literally telling us we're coming to the point where this all comes together. That's what I'm reading throughout this thing. Go ahead, Dave. You're muted.
Did you pick up 440 also?
Go ahead.
Patrick, what have you been talking about? This one smashes too.
Q drop number 440 of December 23rd, 2017. And Anon says the DIA report represented inconvenient facts that threatened President Obama's North Korea strategic patience policy, a policy to do nothing about North Korea and kick this problem down the road to the next president. End quote. Down the road sounds familiar. Wonder who said it. Q responds, who was supposed to be the next president? Expand your thinking. Q.
There's Obama and Hillary again.
There it is. It's all coming to this point. I still have a handful. I'm going to keep going for the sake of time. Before we'll do a palate cleanser here in about 5 or 10 minutes, Patrick. This was I want to show Matrix Codebreaker picked up on something, which I think fits into this whole thing. Okay. Dude 44. Well, who was the 44th president of the United States?
Barack Hussein Obama.
That's interesting, right? Have we talked about him today?
Barack Obama? Yes.
I feel like we did that.
And that last timestamp was that they said was 4:40 in the morning, which is also a 44.
There it is.
All right, so check this out. Trump is currently speaking. This came up on through the screen. We have Dude 44, which is a call sign. I posted out, I thought 44 is a representation of Obama because of all the Obama comms we have been getting lately. So with Dude 44 being the call sign, again, to me, that's Obama. Check this out.
He said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to... And if you don't do that, they say, I have...
So 9:47, drop 9:47, as he's talking about Iran, says Iran next, RT days after, RT Kenya, as he points out 9:47, and don't forget that somebody, Obama, when we're done, he'll claim Kenyan citizenship as a way to escape, drop 894. So Trump says 9:47, which has Kenya in it, after also having call sign Dude 44 on the screen. I think he's pointing to Obama.
Look, by itself, it's already good. Put that with everything else we just showed today, and it's just another data point in a long string of connected, only anons can appreciate series of mathematically impossible coincidences. Do you think, what are you laughing at, dude?
I have one more I forgot about, but I can throw it in whenever.
All right, do this one, then we'll do yours, and I got a couple more clips. So, Patrick, Gizmo was actually on a string of things here, okay? I found his last one to be the most dasting. And I'll be honest with you, when I found this, I said, Dave, look, he's just using the time. Anyway, I'll tell you, I was like, I don't know if this connects. And then I realized what everything Gizmo had shown. And it blew my mind. Read what he said first, Patrick.
Just like Gizmo on Twitter, there are still people out there who will say this is a stretch. How much more clear does he need to make it? Laughy face.
Bro, this kind of blew my mind when I realized the whole thing. So he has Trump on C-SPAN saying, but they said it loud and clear at exactly 2:16 p.m. on 4/6 of 2026.
Okay.
All right. At the exact same date, 4/6 of 2018, and the exact same time, 2/16. But they said it loud and clear. It says 5/5. Booms en route. Are you kidding me?
Wait, what? Okay, but
it's the same date and time. Exact date and exact time.
And 5x5 means loud and clear.
Yes, it does.
Correct.
So you got to say that to make sure that this gets across.
Yes, in radio chat, or if somebody asks if you can hear me, you say 5x5 or 5/5, which means loud and clear.
All right, everybody got that? Absolutely essential information.
It also says the boom's en route. We just had boom, boom, boom. It also says green for go. You got to be kidding me.
All right. Make sure that we get this.
It's also a drop that is signed by Q+, who most believes to be Donald Trump, who is speaking on the screen right now.
I just don't know how you accomplish this unless everything is, there's no live anything if you think that this is something that was deliberate. You can't do this deliberately unless it is something that is scheduled meticulously in advance.
Well, Donald, we'll get there. Donald Trump tells you about his plan, and every single thing is planned out.
Yep.
It's military precision.
A lot of precision, like more precision than people are comfortable thinking is reality.
Possible. Yep.
Well, Joe, I just wanted to throw in while we're doing that, keep in mind, I should have put this in before, but as we showed, the fighter that this entire press conference was about, I showed this is an F-15E, and we know that adds up to 17. And the drones that we are told that Iran used to shoot at the fighter planes that were going to rescue them were an MQ-9. Well, you have a Q in the middle. M is the 8th letter of the alphabet.
M is the 13th. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet.
Did I do that wrong?
I don't know, but M is definitely the 13th letter of the
alphabet.
alphabet.
I had that wrong. I'm sorry. Take that completely out. Sorry. You know what? I completely brain farted on that one. Leave that one out. Sorry about that.
It is 13.
Yep.
It's okay. It's okay. We're not done. We're not done yet. So take a look at this one. Listen for the numbers. 88, 110.
Incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the search and rescue task force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing, and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After picking up Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs, a Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the President said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 44 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 44 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 44 Bravo.
Dave, before I go to you, I see you pulled something up.
Yeah, I had a complete brain fart there. I knew I had something for this. I just misread my notes. Sorry, I said this the wrong way. My apologies. MQ9, you're right. M is 13, Q is 17, 9 is 9. That adds up to 39, right? What were you just talking about? We're talking about Iran. We're talking about Obama. This is where I was going with this. Patrick, please read this.
Q drop 39 of November 2nd, 2017. Would it blow your mind if I told you BO has been to North Korea and perhaps there now, or it could be Bruce Orr, I'm assuming BO is Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why did his administration do little to slow their nuclear and missile capabilities? Who feeds North Korea with strategic intel? Iran? What deal was done with Iran under BO? Why was the deal sealed under a top secret classification? Why wasn't Congress notified? Why, after Barack Obama left office, all of a sudden North Korea has nukes and the tech to miniaturize for payload delivery within the U.S.? What about NSA, CIA, DI, etc., all confirming tech won't be in place for 5+ years? Statements made in 2016. Why is all of this relevant, and what does it tell you? Big picture is rare.
Just leave that one there.
And in this last clip, he talked about that HH again, which is 88, and the 110. Patrick, read those two.
Certainly.
By the way, we already did 88. This is where I said they're starting to smash the same drops.
Q drop 88 of November 5th, 2017. 10 days, darkness, scare tactics, MSM, D's falling, R's walk away / remove. Saudi Arabia, US, Asia, EU. Disinformation is real. Distractions are necessary. Focus was US today while real happening in Saudi Arabia. under the same context: military control, martial law, missile strike, rogue, etc. Necessary. POTUS's Twitter attack, see above. Important. Why is this relevant? What was the last tweet by POTUS prior to Saudi Arabia? Why is this relevant? Saudi Arabia 1, US 2, Asia 3, EU 4. Where is POTUS? Why is this relevant? Military operations, operators in US, Snow White, The Great Awakening, Godfather 3, Q. Q drop 110 of November 5th, 2017. MSM, CIA counterops will all fall down. Q.
It's people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine. Sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. It wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was the head of a human being, I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. That's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA, too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Yes. CIA doesn't get enough credit. And we're talking about clown ops the whole time?
Mm-hmm. You know, he could just be literally saying the CIA doesn't get enough credit. And because, and the reason they don't get enough credit is because part of the necessary deception is the CIA are 100% bad as hell. They suck. Clowns in America. What, comma, are we?
Yeah, right. They're not, though.
Who knows? I don't know. You know, it could be a deception about a deception. That's the part that we're not supposed to have the full picture.
Correct.
True. That's completely correct. Let me get rid of that one. You know what? Let's take a minute. We're going really long here. 2:12. Patrick, why don't you tell everybody what you got going on over at the lab? We'll say hi to the people over at Feel Great, and then we'll get into the last portion of the show.
Absolutely. Guys, I want you to check out your screen right now. That is the Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter at tulipblooms.shop. Promo code Rambo. I mean this seriously, guys. If you've been thinking about grabbing the Tulip Blooms Body Butter, this is your window. This month, we are about to shut down shipping on it until October. Not because of supply, not because of demand. Both of those are very real. But it's just about summer, guys. It doesn't hold its shape in a hot truck. It is loaded with actual butters and oils that melt like they're supposed to. Once we get into Texas summer, that box, it can sit in 120 degrees and it's freaking game over. So every year, May through October, we stop shipping it. You're always welcome to come to our store here in Houston, Texas, and buy it on site, of course. But right now, if you still want the amazing, silky Tulip Blooms Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter, if you want it delivered to your door with no pickup, no hassle, well, this is your moment. If you wait a week or two, if you get all the way to the end of April, I'm sorry, you're either driving to Houston or you're waiting 5 months. And I know a lot of you discovered this stuff recently. You don't want to be the person hearing about it all summer with no way to get it. Look at all of these amazing scents that we have available. So go now, stock up, tulipblooms.shop, use promo code Rambo for 10% off. And when you do that, well, 25% of the sale goes straight into Joe Rambo's bank account to pay the bills around here. So go to tulipblooms.shop. It's your last chance at the end of April to get the Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter. And so don't forget, promo code Rambo, tulipblooms.shop.
Freaking love it. Thank you, Dave, for throwing that banner up. I was on my way there too. Patrick, bring that down quick because I want to, as we're going into, look, it's already beach body time down here, so I'm late. But the rest of the country is going into beach body time. How do I take that? There you go. So for the rest of you that want to, I'm already late. I got to get into it as quickly as possible. I'm sore from working out this morning. The Feel Great protocol has been something that, when I'm taking it correctly, has helped me tremendously. We got literally hundreds of people. Patrick, what's your promo code?
Well, I am epichealth.shop.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Tons of people are doing this with us. Space Shot, Matrix Codebreaker, Patrick, etc. Take a look at this, and then we'll do the last portion of the show.
Been diabetic for several decades. The last 15, 20 years, especially horrible diabetic. Gut health was awful. Gastroparesis, GERD, diverticulosis, IBS. I've already had a heart attack about 14 years ago. All I was getting was more and more medicines, and it just kept making me more and more sick. So this really turned my head when I seen somebody online that said, we can reverse those things. They're not chronic the way they've been telling you. I lost 30 or 40 pounds in about 5 weeks. Neuropathy, which went from chest to toes, about 85 to 90% better. I'm seeing at least 80% or more improvement in 10 weeks. At this point today, I'm taking nothing but the Feel Great system, but I'm way, way better.
If you're ready to reclaim your health and feel great again, go to rambospecial.com.
I want to read Schmo25 just said, Feel Great works. I no longer need, but continue to maintain the work I did. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Schmo. Yeah, we literally have hundreds of people doing this with us. So I appreciate all those positive, all the positive feedback. So thank you guys. With that, Dave.
Can I borrow 20 seconds?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you noticed, we have in the middle of the afternoon, there's between all the different platforms, there's over 11,000 people watching this show right now, which is incredible. The best way you guys can help all of us out, wherever you're watching, just hit that positive affirmation button, the thumbs up on Rumble, the heart button on X, take the red pill over on Pilled. 2 other things, because you guys are so well engaged with these platforms, like D-Class Saturday night was 1 and 3 on the leaderboard against platform. None of our platforms are that big relative to these guys, but your engagement helps that on all sides. And honestly, I think Rumble is starting to take notice of that, which is kind of cool. My show with Mike King on Wednesday was featured on the homepage. Joe's Roundtable on Thursday was featured on the homepage, and I don't even know if he knows this yet. But I'm going to embarrass you for a minute. We were talking about this in the car yesterday. And because of you guys, Joe's Thursday show just cracked 100,000 views, which is freaking awesome. So I just want to thank you guys for the incredible engagement. One other quick thing, our Sunday show with Patrick, Breaking the System, did incredibly well. We're just incredibly honored and thankful of all the support you guys give. And the reason things like Joe's show are getting put on the homepage when we're relatively small platforms is because Rumble takes notice of the engagement when you guys do things like hitting the thumbs up button. So we're incredibly thankful for that.
I don't know if you guys realize how much that means to me. The Roundtable hitting 100K for that. I think that's the 3rd time that happened. And that means the freaking world to me. That Roundtable is all about rising tides. It wasn't about me at all. It was about getting all the Anons together and having a powwow and going through and doing live. It was never scripted. It was always just, you put a bunch of stuff together and you talk about it with a bunch of your friends. And for you guys to hit the thumbs up and put that thing over 100,000 views now for the third time is something I am forever humbled for. Look, I watched Mickey's show today. He had 1,100 people a half hour into his show, Mickey and Matt. And when they started, they were only getting a couple hundred. And when they started doing the Red Pill and Mickey shows with us, Mickey just dropped a rant in the chat, and I'll read it here at the end. But I just want to say I'm so grateful for you guys because you continue to support the people that we hang out with, and it's just awesome. So I'll stop there. I am kind of emotional that it hit 100K for the third time. It's pretty cool. It's pretty damn cool. Anyway, all right, here we go. Let's listen to Donald. We got a few more here, and then we'll get out of here.
Why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. We got regime change. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, "Oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is." They want me to say, "Here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to..." And if you don't do that, they say, "I have a plan." These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is, but it's very unfair to say because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news, but you can't. It's so bad for the people that are so pro. You just saw two great, and John Ratcliffe, three unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Come on. We have a plan. We have a plan. Regime change. We have a plan. Everything's being thought of. Everybody that's on the stage knows what's going on. 3, again, 10, 3, right? 10 of which, 3 of which. And regime change. I know we've shown this before, but you can't push this aside when you're talking about this stuff, Patrick.
Mm-hmm. Q drop 1558 of June 19th, 2018. Free Iran. Fight, fight, fight. Regime change. People have the power. We stand with you. Q.
Come on. After everything we've talked about today, and then he decides to go into regime change at the end. By the way, I'm going to let you know something. I don't necessarily think that regime change means specifically Iran. I think he's talking about something more global, more financial structure, more, interaction between countries as a whole, right? I think this is a good versus evil post. That regime change, the free Iran, I think is the green code. I think the regime change is what's going on globally. That's where I'm at right now.
Hey, Joe. Guess how many drops the word plan appears in?
Is it 17?
88.
Oh, jeez.
88.
Metacoms.
I mean, we did whole shows on 8822 comms. His text message number is 88022. His license plate's 8822 on the beast.
How many times have you shown drop 88 on the show? 3 already? Yeah.
3
Funny
today. Which is very funny. You're right. Well, all right. Fight, fight, fight. Everybody remembers fight, 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 right? That's from the stinking assassination attempt.
Of course.
Right. So how is anybody realizing this isn't all connecting? Dave, I'm going to play. This is the Mega.
Gotcha.
Mega.
President, you've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh, my God, what's that? Oh, look over there. What's that? A woman shot right between the eyes. And after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, oh, my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people, but they've lived so.
Purr?
Look, boom, boom, 5, 6. One lady shot in the head. We just did this.
Q drop 561 of January 19th, 2018. MSM is fake news, propaganda, talking points, 4 a.m., private email addresses, paid contractors, Judgment Day, Q.
Boom, boom, boom. Next week. Go ahead.
He said 5 or 6 twice. Do you have drop 56?
All I could think of was my kid.
I thought that was 6-7.
It is, but every time somebody does, it's my dumbass kids got me thinking.
Drop 56, Patrick.
Q drop number 56 of November 2nd, 2017. The Clinton campaign is attempting once again to sweep important questions under the rug about top aide Huma Abedin, her family ties to the Muslim Brotherhood and to Saudi Arabia, and her role in the ballooning Clinton email scandal. Her mother, Saleha Abedin, sits on the presidency staff council of the International Islamic Council for Dawah and Relief, a group that is chaired by the leader of the Muslim Brotherhood, Sheikh Yusuf al-Qaradawi. Perhaps recognizing how offensive such ties will be to voters concerned over future terrorist attacks on this country by radical Muslims professing allegiance to Sharia law. The Clinton campaign on Monday tried to downplay Ms. Abedin's involvement in the Journal and the Muslim Brotherhood. The Clinton surrogate group, Media Matters, claimed predictably there was no evidence that Ms. Abedin or her family had ties to the Muslim Brotherhood, and that Trump campaign staffers who spoke of these ties were conspiracy theorists. To debunk the evidence, Media Matters pointed to a Snopes.com fact-check piece that cited as its sole source Senator John McCain. This is the same John McCain who met Libyan militia leader Abdel Karim Belhaj, a known al-Qaeda associate, and saluted him as my hero during a 2011 visit to Benghazi.
Dude, I've literally lost count of how many of these numbers that they're using connect to the Obamas, the Clintons, and the media. Like
it all roads lead to Obama.
Sure.
Hold on. All roads lead to Obama and Hillary and the Clinton Foundation and Bill, who told us he doesn't want to go to Colorado Supermax. He would rather go to Gitmo because when you're old, you would rather be hot than cold. Right? We have the hottest country in the world. Our country used to be dead. It used to be cold. Now we have the hottest country on the planet. You know why?
Why?
Because they're in Cuba. Cuba's next, by the way. I don't know how many times you've heard that in the last month.
I love the fact that the word Cuba starts with Q.
That's not right, Patrick.
Because it does. It's the first syllable of Cuba.
That's funny. Dave, do you have the when it comes to the mega stuff? I'm glad you guys picked up on that. It was a Sega reference. But the mega, do you have? Yeah, there you go. Can you focus in on that at all so anybody can see it better? Donald Trump just said that the people of Iran want the bombing to continue. They every time they leave, they're like, "Hey, why don't you keep bombing us?" Which is absurd on its face just when he says it like that. But until you look back into the drops, you start to understand that Iran's been part of this thing since the beginning. Restart mega plus MAGA, hashtag QAnon heart. That's in the drops. Together, we stand together in this fight. Where we go on, we go all Q.
And that was posted March 7th, 2019.
Yeah, sure. It's all happening in real time. Totally. All right. Last couple before we get out of here.
So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we are. But I will.
Hold on. I didn't realize. I wanted to say something for this clip. Do you know why he said he want? Listen, I want you to listen to it this way. Did he say he wanted to keep it a secret because he didn't have a number? Because it didn't happen? Listen to this again with that thought process.
So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret.
Okay, well, we are. But I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And hundreds of these people, it's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment, a lot of equipment, nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Do you see what I'm saying, Patrick?
I think I do. Yeah. If you think about it in that context, then yes, that's
Yeah,
how
like-
you answer. I sure would love to keep that to myself, sir. That way you don't have to make shit up.
Right. You're allowed to lie, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
You're allowed to play 5th generation warfare games, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that we sent hundreds when we didn't send any. I'd like to keep that a secret. So what is he, central casting? What the hell what are we watching? It's the craziest thing ever. I don't know. I got a couple more, but we don't have to. You want to do one more?
Sure.
What does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well, I
What's
think
your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street. No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had a, don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq.
Mommy got in there. Look, think about it. He's pointing out Obama again, right? He goes into the one I'm not going to play because we got to get out of here. He talked about Easter being the timeline, which was when he got shot in the ear, which was fight, which, I mean, like, it's all coming to a head at the same point in time. I don't know. Dave, do you want to speak on that before we go around?
No, I think you're absolutely right, dude. I mean, look, I'll just say it again. You could discount any one or any two or any three of these connections we've made, but for all of this stuff to be hitting the same central themes dozens of times, come on. It's just...
We just did 2.5 hours worth of the whole thing connecting. Patrick, what's as the guy that didn't know what we were going to do?
Yeah.
Do you think that they painted a picture, or do you think that I was? I want your honest opinion.
I think they painted a picture. Obviously, they painted a picture. That's not even controversial. That's clear. A picture was painted. Now, painted a picture using the Q drops. In my opinion, yes. Aggressively so. Now, what's going to happen at 8 p.m. Eastern?
I know that's what
you're going to find out.
I think we're gonna. You'll find out.
I'm going to take a nap just so I can wake up fresh.
Yeah. Joe, can I finish off with one more low-hanging fruit? It's obvious,
Absolutely.
but just in case we haven't seen enough out of this speech.
Sure.
General said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never seen it. They hit us from 17 different, they were all set. They saw that big, beautiful aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case, and planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So typically when you see that late at night, you know, you could be in trouble, right? And we were all ready. They had their equipment. It was Russian. And they had Chinese equipment. It was all set. They were going to give us a fight. He said, and then they came, and they came at speeds like we've never seen. And they came at 17 different angles. The general and his people, that was a lot of angles. They hit him from every angle. He said, we knew it was over in 3 minutes. We were waiting for them. Their equipment didn't work. And there's a reason it didn't work. Someday we'll explain that to people. They pressed the button, nothing happened. They pressed it again and again, nothing happened. And he said, we knew this whole thing was over in 3 minutes. We've never seen any, he used the word ferocity. The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles, and it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers.
3 times.
Hold on. You can't play that. We knew it was over. You can't.
Oh, yeah. Do you have the...
I got it.
Good.
You can't play that without showing this.
Q drop 3673 of December 14th, 2019. Month, day, Durham initiated. Month, day, Q public campaign initiated. They're the same. How many coincidences before mathematically impossible? It was over before it began. Q. I mean, you know, the beatings will continue until morale improves. Guys, it was the same damn day. Kinetic shit was tied up before we ever heard about any of this.
He did a fat air cue too in the speech, in case that wasn't enough.
But Tucker's mad at Trump. This is what everybody relax, take a breath. This crowd should not be part of the panicking. This crowd should not be part of the panicking. Let me repeat that. This crowd should understand that there's something bigger going on. If you can watch that last 2.5 hours of that speech broke down in that manner, where everything connects to what's been going on previously in the drops, then I would like to hope that we collectively would understand that what we're watching is not happening in real time. It's happening in a way that's being declassed to us. And I personally find comfort in that.
Amen, brother. Couldn't have said it any better.
That was freaking awesome. Patrick, I know you got stuff at the lab and a baby. Dave and I are going to do thank yous at this point and bounce out of here. Do you want to do your final thoughts, buddy?
I sure do. Well, it appears that we have something to look forward to tonight. I am accustomed to tap dancing while the rug gets pulled, so it should be fine. However, the tweet that Trump let out, it's could see a complete destruction of an ancient and wonderful civilization. Probably it's going to happen. Oh no, maybe something great will happen. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's part of the friggin' show. So I am perfectly calm at all times, and I'm ready with a nice joke, no matter what fake crap happens on my television screen. And I also want to remind everybody that we're going to stop shipping the body butter at the end of April. So go to tulipblooms.shop, get your Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter now while you still can, because until the end of October, we stop shipping it because it melts in transit because Texas is freaking hot. So tulipblooms.shop, promo code Rambo for 10% off. And check out my Rumble channel, P. Gunnels. And I've begun doing Reading Epic Threads every Monday. So good stuff happening there as well. P. Gunnels 1 on Twitter. And of course, find me right here on the NewsTreason channel and the Rambo channel, the Rambo and Friends channel, most any day of the week. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to jet over to my lab and make some more accords.
Love you, bro.
Thanks, brother. Take care.
Take care.
Dave, do you want to go first? We'll go back and forth.
Yep, let me hop over here to the pilled side. B_random gifted a can. Thank you very much. No thanks, Joe. Gifted a cookie. Hey, Dave, nice to have you back. I believe that such a large portion of this movement have been fooled so much that they don't want to fall anymore, and especially be told by others, I told you so, you were wrong, and you're a fool for believing. They can't let that happen and commit to nothing. God bless. I hear that, brother. I hear that. No thanks, Joe. Gifted a cookie again. Sorry, but we who are on board are calmly excited. Amen, brother. I think that's exactly what Joe summed up perfectly. Matrix Codebreaker, good to see you, buddy. Gifted a can. Boom time. Let's go. Thank you, guys. I will release the scratching over here on Pilled. Go ahead, Joe.
Amen. Karen Hare, good to see you, friend. Gifted a can. Let's go. ZR2 Anon with some shades. Thank you. Lizzie B with the cookie. Thank you very much. No thanks, Joe. Gifted a cookie. Hi, brother Joe. Sounds like you guys had a great time. I'm so happy for you and your son. Glad to have you back. God bless. Be safe. Yep. He just walked in from school too, looking sunburned as a MFer. Old Salty Dog with the can. Cheers. Thank you very much. Mitchell DM 27 with the phone. Thank you very much. Red Gun 51 with the can. Swickley with the cookie. Thank you both. Matrix Codebreaker gifted a can. Boom time. Let's go. Good to see you, brother. I hope you saw that we featured one of your decodes today. Secret Weapon gifted a cookie. And Matrix Codebreaker again with a can. Just for reference, when you get all these 88s, the number 17 reduces to 8. 1 plus 7 equals 8. So when you see all these 88s, can you please get the clip, the thing ready?
The what?
So when you, no, never mind.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. 17 reduces to 8. 1 plus 7 equals 8. So when you all see these 88s, you can also be viewed as 1717, or in reverse, when you have a 1717, you also have 88. I don't suffer. I just have it. Where we go one, we go autistic.
He suffers from autism. I don't suffer. I just have it.
Scratching has been released on my side. Dave, you want to do Rumble?
Yep. Guys, I don't see any gifted subs over here, so if I missed that, I am sincerely sorry. I'll try to go into the back end and see if they pop up, although Rumble has had issues with that lately. But let me start. Parkmon 1, $2 rant. We were lost while you were gone, Joe. No, seriously. Well, we did a show on Saturday.
We weren't all that gone.
We weren't all that.
Sure.
Thank you, my friend. Jules Patriot, $1 rant. He left off the G, which leads to drop 452. Enough is enough. Yep, we talked about that. Trump's Easter truth. Parkmon 1, $2 rant. Protect your mind, control your emotions. Neither 47 nor Tucker are underinformed or slow. Amen, my friend. Amen. Jules Patriot with a $5 rant. Massey Paul, libertarian, was created by the British to undermine the American system. Rand, MTG, Massey are funded by the DSA, even got their picks with the Democrat Socialists of America. Can agree to disagree. We don't all have to agree here. We'll find out eventually. Thank you very much for that, though. Mrs. Macro Toolbreaker, $1 rant. Everyone wants to know who's good or controlled on MSM. Personally, I can't wait to see who all the podcasters are. Who's who? Love you guys. Yeah, I wonder how much of that we're going to find out.
I'll tell you what I think. I'll be completely honest. They're all controlled, and some of us are.
Don't say us.
Well, some of us are.
Some of them are.
It's not you and I. Some of the podcasters are.
Absolutely.
But when I say controlled, I believe it's the good guys. So I'm looking at some of these podcasters and I'm like, dude, I don't believe you. But then I sit back and I think about it and I'm like, it's the good guys telling them to do what they're doing.
Yep. Exactly right. Jules Patriot, $5 rant. Obama is not an American citizen, so he can be prosecuted for treason and not protected with immunity. Interesting point there. Yep. Jules Patriot, $1 rant. Iron Eagle is coming out. It's about an American and swear to God, I can talk. Iron Eagle is coming out, and it's about F-15 being shot down behind enemy lines. Interesting. Ooh. Denise Volbrack, $10 rant. Simply phenomenal. The vitamin D looks good on you guys. Did you go to the Keys for an upgrade? If so, it worked. Excellent dig, gentlemen. What a time to be alive. Thank you. Thank you, Denise. Appreciate that. And Parkmon 1, $2 rant. It's because y'all are good. I mean, GOOD. Seriously. Thank you, my friend. We appreciate that. Kim 737 with a $10 rant. Thank you, guys. Another awesome show. Thank you, Kim. Nova Moon 1954, $1 rant. 4Pog is so funny. Obama is dude 44 in the back seater, the butt puppet.
He's like, I love dudes 44.
4Pog definitely has a great sense of humor. I believe that's it over here, Joe. Go ahead.
All right. My Rumble side, Denise R gifted $17. Love you, Rainbow. Thank you, friend. I love you as well. M. Joseph 216, $1 rant. Rambo with a collar. Is it a shirt? Is it a jacket? Neither. It's a shacket, and I'm digging it. I'm digging the look, Joe. No homo. Thank you very much, M. Joseph. Simon says Florida, $1 rant. Another coincidence. F-15E. 15 equals OFOE. Who is the Iranian proxy? Operation Epic Fury. Oh, that's kind of a banger.
That's a good one.
That's kind of a banger. I'll have to look at that again. Sky Blue 1924, $1 rant. Trump also had a 5x5 in that less than 10 clip. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I skipped it, but I went back to it. I hope you saw. Simon says Florida, $1 rant. Less than 10 minutes. Definitely comms. Chinook disassembly prior to transport. 8+ hours. 8+ hours.
Of course. Dude, 10 minutes? Come on. Couldn't even change a tire in 10 minutes.
Right. After transport reassemble can take 14+ hours. Yep. that's exactly why we brought that up. Two planner, $5 rant. If you notice, Hegseth said authorities, and rather than authority. All right, I'll have to go back and look at that one. Man, we caught a lot. I'm sure we didn't catch it all. Right. SPS Ryan L, $20 rant. Great show, fellas. Where do I send y'all some moon rocks? I think that's a Mickey reference.
Yeah, I would say so.
Mickey and Matt were fighting like cats.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Annie Sequoia, $1 rant. Great show, guys. Endless comms. Thank you for doing the hard work and breaking it all down. By the way, dude in Simple Gematria is 34. Come on.
Of course it is.
Come on. 34, 44? What's that? What's the combination mean?
Well, it's 15, but
Anons will ask, does this include doing okay? Yeah, it's nothing close, but the 34-44 is very interesting. Winter Fire one. Go ahead.
If you add up the two individual numbers, it gets to drop 15. There are more good people than bad. Wizards and warlocks. That's the Wizards and warlocks will not allow another satanic evil POS to control our country. Realize Soros, Clinton's, Obama, Putin are all controlled by the three families. That's an interesting one. I won't go through the whole thing.
Winterfire, $1 rant, $1 holler. Thank you for the autism with a kiss emoji. Thank you very much. Mickey Talks, $10 rant. Just flew back from the moon, and boy, are my arms tired. Good to see you, Mickey. I believe Mickey will be with me tomorrow, by the way. OEF Patriot, $17 rant. Guys, wish there was a foolproof way to get a response from y'all for us regular folk. Sometimes we have great takes and digs for y'all. Emails have never worked. Keep on digging. OEF Patriot. Dude, go ahead, Dave. You answer first.
I was going to say, that's why we do the call-in show every Friday.
Yeah. The call-in show every Friday is probably the best way. And I will admit that emails are very difficult. Look, I started a Facebook account. I had 700. And this is the greatest problem in the world to have. Just so you guys are all aware. There is no arrogance to this statement. I can't possibly keep up. Look, hit the thumb twice. Get us to the point where we can hire somebody to help us. Because right now we're just getting by like all of you. And especially we want to do fun things like take our sons on vacation. So none of us, you guys or us, are getting rich off of this thing. And if I had somebody to help me, I promise you I would be able to answer it all. But I just try so desperately and I can't.
Yep, I'm with you on that, dude. It's just we don't have 4 or 5, 6 hours a day to dedicate to.
I wish I did.
You have direct messages on True Social. You have direct messages on X. You have Telegram messages.
I have
you
Facebook.
Emails. You have Facebook. Some people have our phone numbers. Like if you combine all that, I wish we could, but it's just not
impossible.
Unless we all stop doing as many shows, which I don't think you guys want.
Yeah, we would rather do shows and hang out with you guys this way. Look, I don't know. Yeah, that's just the truth. John Dan Ken, $5 rant. Things are ramping up. So satisfying. You all rock. Thank you so much. William Cody, $10 rant. Not taking anything away from Belushi, Space Shop, Matrix, Codebreaker, Tron, or Mickey, but you three make the best team, hands down. Gracias to the Tres Amigos. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, all our shows are designed differently. Those other shows I do are more of a round table, like Thursday, where we get everybody's feedback. Dave and I legitimately work together every day, and then we bring Patrick in so that he can give us a raw reaction. It's designed that way. BB Lee, 51, $5 rant. Look, Obama, Clinton's all actors, characters in the scripted show. I think that's a TV plus eyeballs equals face. Travis Stock TV programs, and then there's a link for BB Lee. Thank you very much for the rant. Tyler 17, $1 rant. Trump Artemis call. Uncomfortably long pause. Astronauts do a mic check and Trump responds immediately. Then the very next sentence, Trump blames the long pause on a 9-second delay. Laugh my ass off. I actually haven't seen that, Dave. Have you?
No, I didn't. I have to go back and look at that stuff. There's so much
Yeah.
NASA stuff out there right now. It's crazy.
I was stuck on the speech, so that's pretty much all I did this morning. I do think things will get real uncomfortable for a short while, though. From Dirk Gentley. Thank you very much for the $1 rant. Genus 3, $1 rant. Don't be a panicking. Trust the panicking. Thank you very much. Mickey again with a $1 rant. I love you. I love you too, my man. I believe that's, oh, nope. Jib 2516, $2 rant. Dude for 4 Bravo equals 212. There are no coincidences. 212 Q drop. 212 drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Do you believe in coincidences? Yep. That's a banger. Patriot JBD, $10 rant. This is why I watch you guys. I believe in full control, but the news still agitates me. You guys take that away. Thanks. Enjoy dinner with y'all Sunday night of Threadfest. Amen. Thank you, friend. It's a great compliment, and that dinner was awesome. That's it. I'm all done here, bro. What are your final thoughts? Where can everybody find you? What do you got coming up next?
Can I borrow 2 more seconds?
Sure.
One more came in. Saint Sugar, the Conspiracy Cat official fan club, $1 rant. Not sure if I missed your commentary so far on it, but y'all know what post 947 is, and what time did Trump say the attack happened yesterday? Yep, we did go through that. Joe went through that in one of the digs. JLB 2516, Dave, you missed my rant. It was good too. Friend, I just scrolled back through everything. I don't have it for some reason. It may be that Rumble deleted it on me or it disappeared. It is a problem that we deal with from time to time. So I'm very sorry for that, but I promise I didn't skip you. And then Joe, if I could, our good friend BB McGuire, will be on tonight. Doses of Deception channel. She's on at 8 p.m. tonight. Go and check her out. I wanted to let you know her and Patrick will be starting a new show on Friday. In fact, I wanted to do this while Patrick was here because I was very excited about it. But we got buried in the show, obviously. So those of you who are interested in health news and the incredible 40,000-foot view that BB McGuire has, her and Patrick will be doing a new show Fridays at 5 p.m. called Clarity in the Chaos. And basically what this is going to be a shorter form content, which, as I mentioned, some of us are, it's one of the things we're all going to be trying to work on as we go forward, is coming up with some shorter stuff to put out there when we have time. She's going to be doing this with Patrick every Friday called Clarity in the Chaos. And basically, they're just going to get together for an hour every Friday and kind of go through all the current health news and explain to you guys how it connects to the broader operation. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and check her out tonight at 8 p.m. You can find both over on the Doses of Deception channel. A big shout out to BB and Patrick for putting that together. Joe, as far as me, tomorrow night, of course, I'll have Mike King back at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thursday night, probably will be doing something different. I will come up with something. I was supposed to do our bi-weekly show with our good friend Patriot Underground, but I know, as many of you saw, he put out a post yesterday. Unfortunately, he did have a death in the family, so he's going to be taking some time off. And obviously, all of our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to Patriot Underground and his family. Keep an eye on social media. I will try to come up with something on Thursday to fill that spot. And of course, Friday night, we'll have the call-in show. So, Joe, thanks for steering the ship on this one, brother. I thought this was a banger, and appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. And over on my side, Carrie Cat, Claudia Doug, Magadai 1776, our incredible admins and mods, for all their help. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. First and foremost, I love all my mods as well. Dave, that's actually a really great example of how busy we are and how much we don't catch things. Because BB sent me that information while I was doing my dig this morning, and I forgot. I'm so glad that you did that, because I would have never got to it. And that's only because we're tied up doing the show or whatever. I'm so glad you promoted that, because I forgot all about it, because I was in the middle of doing that dig that we presented today. So it's a great example of why, if you guys ever feel like we're not getting to you on DMs, it's not personal. It's not because we don't care. We do. We tremendously care. That's why we beg for thumbs up. That's why we beg for positive affirmation. We truly care. That's why we do events. That's why we come out and try to hug and hang out with everybody. But yeah, that's a great example of forgetting something that was on today's timeline just because we were so busy with what we were doing. But yeah, guys, thank you for supporting me and Dave. Thank you for supporting Patrick. Thank you for supporting anybody that we have on these shows. I will see you guys all tomorrow for the Skiff at 2 p.m. I believe Awakened Outlaw will be there. I believe Mickey will be there. And the rest, we'll see about Sean. I know Adel's off this week. He's got something going on Wednesday, but much love to him as well. With that, we will see you guys next time. Much love. Peace.